epic victory of the King of Kings. The king is still alive. Sorry. The king is still alive. He is alive and kicking. Hi guys, I'm Neodyinamite and welcome back to Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. Ladies and gentlemen, the game is finally out of early access and it's now entering early access. I know, I have no idea why. Honestly, I mean the game was released on the 1st of April. That has to mean something, right? You're probably thinking, this is a joke. This game has to be a joke. No, ladies and gentlemen, this is the real thing. This game is actually real. If you have never, and I mean ever, heard of this game somehow, if somehow you've actually managed to avoid YouTube algorithms of showing you this weird ass game, then I seriously want to know in which type of cave you live on the planet, because I want to move there. Basically, the game is as the name applies. It's total, okay, well, emphasize on the total is maybe not exactly the thing. Same goes for the accurate. Is a simulator of battles. You put units on one side, you put units on the other side, or you allow the challenges where you have to fight the already preset challenge units things on one side of the screen, and you combine your own army and then you try to defeat the enemy. That's more or less how it works. So basically you have like a bunch of units from different types of, let's say, time and present, whatever thing. Basically different units from across time. So you have some super simple units such as the clubmen, then you have more of like a medievalish / Lord of the Ring type of things, then you have an actual, let's say, medieval type of units, then you have more of a like Greece, Spartan type of units, then you have an actual Vikings type of units, yes, mythical units such as the Valkyrie, the Minotaur, or let's say a Halfling are included. And then you have units that have been previously available and now they're blocked, and I don't have damn idea why. So the ninjas, whatever this thing is, and probably something related to pirates if I remember correctly from the previous early access version of Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I was like wondering what would be a good idea to make the first episode of. What would be the unit that maybe I should try to focus on? And it hit me! The King of Kings should use the unit that Richie has, the King in its name. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be putting worthy opponents against His Majesty himself and his gigantic cock. I mean his gigantic sword. So, the very first opponent, the Clover. So, he decided to go, you know, it's Friday night. He decided to actually go to a club. He decided to find himself like a peaceful place where he can try to drink, find some girls, you know, have some good time going to Friday night. But then somehow you walked upon the king's territory and he regretted. Jesus, thank Christ. I think you richly moved him back to the Stone Age, didn't you? Oh my caroni. Let's keep the fighting fair, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep 1-on-1 versus the mighty king. So the protector is next. Somehow he managed actually to capture Door from his cave and he decided to go into battle against the king. And guess what king thought about that idea? It's stupid. And he annihilated his ass with this gigantic sword. It's actually a 200, which you look at this thing. It's a monstrosity of a sword, highly crafted Valyrian steel, for those of you who are waiting for the Game of Thrones, obviously. I wonder where's Daenerys. Daenerys! Sweetness! I don't think she's actually around. Alright, the red victory of Russians? I mean, that would be like a thing, like somebody's gonna be the smartass in the comment section and be like, oh, you are Russian, aren't you? No, I am not. And those are two spearmen who actually that scream was legendary. I think at the very last second, he actually understand what he did wrong. He actually looked into the eyes of the king and he regretted every second of that thing, because later, the only thing that will remember him is the ground that his face will fall upon. Oh, then the mighty king has decided to walk into another club, and what did he found? He had found stoned people, and the stoned people regretted this encounter a lot because apparently the King of Kings' spine is made out of something harder than just rocks. Yes, scream all night. You did actually try to scream all night, but that was not exactly successful. You know what? I think if you actually want to defeat the king, you need to go for the ankles. But you didn't. Which is extremely a sad story. Now, a true adversary comes. The friend of the previous ones. The Bone Mage. Because he has a boner since yesterday. And he casted a spell and he missed! How could you miss? A guy of that size! Oh my god, man, alright. So after that, the chieftain approached the mighty King of Kings, and he decided it was a good idea to get killed. So after defeating all of the opponents, in the distance, the King of Kings could hear the noise rumbling and coming towards him. That was the one, the only mama of the chieftain, and she was big and fluffy and she wanted a hug. So the King of Kings approached her and he stabbed her in her gigantic tits and he mauled her to the ground as the true man he was. And oh my god, that thing was vicious. You're not gonna see this thing on the Discovery Channel, ladies and gentlemen. Stop spinning around! How the heck I actually managed to win this thing? I have no idea. And so the King of Kings have continued his night walk, for he needed to buy some milk. And what did he found? Did he found hookers? No. Did he found drug dealers? No. He had found something worse. Kids running rampart in the middle of the night. So what did the King of Kings decide? To help them and end their suffering by smacking their face with a gigantic sword. That was actually super fast. Behind said kid, there was the pervert, the farmer with a gigantic fork. And so the peasant yelled at the king. He didn't vote for him, and apparently the king did not give a two shits about that. And so the King of Kings continued his late night walk, and what he stumbled upon? He stumbled upon the crazy person from nearby asylum. You would probably think that that would be the Joker. That somehow, somewhere, Batman will appear and save the King of Kings, but the King of Kings laugh upon Batman because he is doing this shit right, ladies and gentlemen. He's not gonna fool around, you know. This is the shit that Batman was supposed to do long time ago. Put Joker down. Just like that, as the true King of Kings would do. Look into the eyes. Do you see the murder? I see only one thing. Victory in his eyes. His eyes look like victory. His movement is like victory. His breath and farts are like victory. So he decided to go to the potion seller? Okay, well, maybe actually the potion seller has some milk. So, yo, dude, by any chance do you have... No, actually the potion seller did not have. What the hell? King! He's down! Never mind, he killed the guy. The King of Kings actually listened to my advice and he aimed for the ankles. Good job, King! Good job, good job, good job. Oh my god, the harvester. Well, looks like you tried to harvest the wrong field this time, laddie. Because the King of Kings will annihilate you so badly. Whoa. Apparently the King of Kings have called for backup somehow. Never mind, the King of Kings does not need a backup, ladies and gentlemen, because he is the King of Kings with the victory in his eyes written upon. And he was apparently looking to the sky. As he was looking upon the sky, he knew that his next opponent would be God himself. Well, it's time to set things right. And just when you think that this game cannot get even more ridiculous, around the corner appeared a wheelbarrow with his children, the farmer, and he charged upon the king. And the king was not happy with that idea because he one-shotted the father and then he had to deal with the children. It's time for you to learn some respect for the elderly. Stop throwing that stupid ball, I swear to God. And so the King of Kings smacked his sword and he smacked it again. And he aimed for the ankles, for he was victorious. And yet again, the King of Kings looks upon the sky, for he knows that God's days are numbered. You know, I've heard of the sentence lightheaded, but this is just ridiculous. I mean, like, come on, could you just try to get some pigeons? Actually, he looks like that guy from Batman. Well, apparently it is totally accurate Arkham Stories battles. So, the King of Kings walked forward with one thing in his mind. Complete victory and annihilation, and so he swings. His sword got stuck in the ground, but that was a little issue to deal with because the king missed again. And so the king smacked his sword. He aimed at the dick of the guy who don't have a dick, and so he died. And he made a dab, and he knew that it was the end of the scarecrow. And as such, the King of Kings continues his late night walk, and then he stumbled upon the Bart, and the Bart knew that this was the day where he was supposed to wear brown pants because... was it just me, or for a second he actually looked like he was enjoying this thing more than he should? But apparently the Bart, ladies and gentlemen, is a quinky guy, and he loves when you penetrate his gigantic ass with even a bigger sword. And I'm not actually saying this thing about the king's dick this time. So the squire appeared, and this was the battle of who has the longest dick. And apparently the King of Kings was victorious once again. And so an archer remained around the corner, and he was aiming. He tried to aim at the king's knee, but that didn't work. And so he shit himself so badly that he wanted to do a dab richly in mid-air, as his face was about to hit gravity earth, and Mother Nature was waiting with her cold, warm embrace, and he was sure that the earth would greet him. I don't have nothing after that. I'm done. I'm honestly done. Would you look at that? Isn't that the Catholic Church with no little Timmy stuck to the couch? Well, don't you worry. The King of Kings will fix a thing or two. That was quick, you know. That's like some problems are supposed to get solved in this world. With a gigantic 3 meter long sword. So, oh shit. Oh, sorry, King. Sorry, that was a misclick. And so, the King of Kings walked forward, and he had found finally a worthy opponent, for he had a shield, and he was hoping that this thing will stop the mighty blows of the king himself. But now the king decided to make the king decided to make a sword hit with a twist, and he attacked from behind, and he did emerge victorious again, because we all know that the King of Kings is the most powerful unit in the entire game. But then I catapult the match, and I have nothing for this. Ow! I really wish to say that I have something for this, but I don't. So the catapult continued fire. They tried, but that didn't work. And so the king was victorious once again, and he had only one thing in his mind. That catapult was probably made in China. But what is this? The long-forgotten brother of the king himself. The evil king walked upon our hero, and he tried to beat him in a fair combat one-on-one. And so the king sliced at his ankles. He knew that it was its weak point, and he keeps slicing. He hit himself somehow, but okay, whatever. And he keeps defending himself, and so the evil king had to retreat, for he was losing blood hardly, and he knew that he actually won somehow. God! The king has its dream where he fought with his evil twin brother, and the king was actually victorious. Yeah, so let's continue with the story. Our hero, the king, was actually a big fan of the 300 movies, but when that Spartan hoplite approached him, he just kicked his ass so badly that he didn't even manage to make a dab in the air. And so the king continued his walk across the night. Shield bearer was... I don't know. You just basically took like a table and decided to wear it around as a shield. And that's why you're supposed to wear a weapon instead of just using a shield. Because you're gonna die. Oh, there is an actual hoplite in this game. Well, I didn't expect this thing to happen. And so the hoplite tried to attack the king. And the king said, nope. Back to Thermopylae with you, dipshit. But then something really strange has happened. There was an archer who was shooting around with snakes. I mean snakes. An actual snakes. But the snake did not know that the king is immune to poison, for he drinks poison on a regular basis. Aim for the knees of the snake. The knees. Hey, actually I won. What the hell? I mean, everything was going according to plan. I mean, I did not have a doubt second that the king will emerge nothing less than complete victory. But what is this? A ballista. A ballista with a guy who apparently have no ammo. Okay. First shot. The king takes in the face and he lost. Interesting. Okay. That's part of the plan that was not supposed to actually go this way. But how about I'm gonna get rid of the distance advantage of the ballista. How will this thing work now? Will the King of Kings emerge victorious? Will he slice the guy before he will be able to... Yep, just as we thought. So, yeah, if the King of Kings will ever have to face a ballista again in the far future, remember that you need to spawn him literally next to the enemy. But what is this? The cousin of the woolly mammoth, a woolly minotaur, as he approached the king and he tried to charge him, but the king had a better idea. He had a plan. He needed actually to get some milk. So he looked deeply into the eyes of the minotaur and he asked this one simple question. How do you get milk? And apparently the minotaur decided to kill himself because he was not ready for this type of amusement. But then Zeus himself emerged and he knew that this time he will win, as there was not God of War around. But the King of Kings was something far more dangerous than the God of War, as Zeus was lying around. Wait, what? Can somebody explain me what just happened? Apparently the King of Kings is completely immune to electricity, as nobody knows, but he is made out of glass. A special type of glass. That didn't have any bloody damn sense, doesn't it? A side note, by the way, Zeus, for a god of Olymp, you are really wearing cheap clothing, man. I mean, like, honestly, a guy of your status, a guy of your paycheck, I think you are capable of affording, you know, some better clothing. But actually, if you think about that, if you consider history and the stories of how many people Zeus fucked, I'm betting that he has to use all of that money to pay for the children that he have made by mistake. And some of them that he have not made by mistake. But then, the King of Kings walked into an Irish bar and he have found a bunch of head butters. Because that's a thing. And that's apparently a whoop. The King of Kings would like to take your attention for the next 5 seconds and actually don't spread the rumors that he is hitting women or people that are basically looking like women, because we are all gender equal here in Europe, and somehow, somewhere, the King of Kings have just realized that he is getting recorded and that he probably fucked up his entire career because he decided to kick somebody who is genderly equal but apparently stupid enough to stand his way. You're probably like thinking, the snake archer is the most ridiculous unit in this entire game. Well, how about an ice archer? Let it go! Let it go! Apparently the frost is not working on the King of Kings as he walks forward and he looks into the eyes of the dead archer and he asks him this simple question. Dude, do you do parties? Because I would love to have somebody who can spawn ice out of thin air and put it inside of my Jack Daniels. Not sponsored by Jack Daniels. Hell yeah. And so a brawler came around with a gigantic shield. I mean, I think you actually took this thing of a dumpster, didn't you? Because you look like a walking trash can. See? This is what happens if you try to approach the King of Kings without showing him the proper respect. Yeah, dipshit! You're probably like asking yourself, there has to be a better weapon than a gigantic 3-meter long sword of the King of Kings himself. Well, ladies and gentlemen, somebody actually tried to have 2 axes as the berserker jumped forward to him. Everything froze there, so King of Kings, could you try to do this thing again? Alright, let's try to do this thing one more time. This time, I'm gonna give you actually like a distant advantage because I want to see this jump in slow motion. Alright, and so the berserker decided to attack the knees of the King of Kings, but he did not like that, ladies and gentlemen. He decided to jizz his pants and kick the berserker so hard that he will forget the joy of living and the joy of attacking other villagers during raids. And so the berserker have became one with the ground and he have turned into a fertilizer. But then a mighty Valkyrie, fully majestic. Oh yeah, sure, that's majestic as fuck. I mean, like, this has to just go the right way. And so I had something for this. I honestly had something for this, but I have nothing right now. I think the biggest advantage of the Valkyrie that has is that I cannot deselect her. How the hell I can... Oh, there you go. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, it is the time. It is the time for the greatest epic battle of all history. a Jarl versus the King of Kings. And so they begin the epic duel as the king flipped his enemy and he decided to show him his sword, and the Jarl did not appreciate that thing because he decided to die. Well then, let's put it this way. If it would be Batman, I think he actually would do a little bit better. I think I solved everything right now in this game. I mean, even the bloody boat has eyes. Okay. We will have more witnesses of the epic victory of the King of Kings. The king is still alive. Sorry. The king is still alive. He is alive and kicking. You can throw a boat at him. You can throw a car at him. You can throw an entire building at him. Yet the king will be victorious. I'm not gonna question that the boat was literally sinking in the center of the ground, you know? I think the ground actually was scared of the King of Kings and it decided to actually suck in the boat. Because the King of Kings, if he'll go on the ground, then he will literally kick the living shit out of the core of the planet. And as we all know, the planet is flat! So ladies and gentlemen, this has been the very first episode of Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. Again, that is so ridiculous. It's fun. It's tons of fun. So if you want to try it yourself, link in the description below. As always, go ahead, give it a try. I think you're gonna enjoy how ridiculous this game is. And if you do, well, then let me know what type of epic battle have comments. Because I think the King of Kings will return very soon in the very next episode of Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. For now though, I think I'm gonna leave this thing as over here. I'm actually thinking about playing maybe other units and throwing them into the Immortal Challenge on 1 versus 1. For now, the King of Kings is unquestionable killer. Even a killing machine, if you think about that. As he is literally the best. And nothing, I say nothing, can oppose him. Unless the developer is gonna actually like add the final 3 fractions. So maybe there is something that actually will stand proudly against the King of Kings and somehow emerge victorious. But that's gonna be the thing that's gonna happen probably in the future episodes. Because for now, I'm gonna leave this thing as of here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked the episode, please subscribe a lot. I'll see you all in the next video.